Ham, turkey, ham, turkey,
Yeah.
ham, turkey.
Hello, good morning.
Oh, good morning, BBs. It's too early.
It sure is.
Welcome to the first, best, and only morning show in existence. I'm Anthony Carboni.
And I'm Saige Ryan.
And we are the inmates are running the asylum.
Y'all, it's been a long time since we've had to run our very own show. We don't have any Alex.
Been
we
a
don't
long
have any
time.
Josh.
Shouldn't have left you without a dope beat to step to.
That's
step
what
two.
Alex said when he let us know
Yeah, he was like,
going to be
step
gone.
two, step two, step two. And then he went, and then he walked out like this.
And I was like, Alex, I'm your boss. This is not how you submit for time off.
And he goes, step two, step two. And then he did a spin into a split.
Yeah.
And backflipped away.
Which was very impressive. So I let him have the time.
Yeah.
But we miss him very much.
Honestly, next time, a little more notice.
Yeah.
A little more notice, a little fewer backflips.
Yeah. I would say those would be interchangeable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody says that sounds accurate.
Yeah.
But hello, everyone. Good morning. We have so much news to get to for you today.
Oh, my
The
stars.
spreadsheet that doesn't exist is overflowing with sequels.
That's right. It's it can't hold them all because Upfronts were this week. If you're unfamiliar, that's the big television industry. Hey, advertisers, look at all the cool money we can make you.
Yeah.
As well as the Cannes Film Festival. So we've got tons to talk about there.
That is going to be a lot of what we're talking about today. We've got some RPG and D&D news.
Mm-hmm.
Those are pretty exciting. We've got a little bit of GTA news. We've got companies gaslighting people, huge.
And I got news about this mole on my shoulder. We're going to share all that later.
We'll see if we get to that.
All of it.
Hey, if you're enjoying the show, if you're watching on YouTube later, be sure to like the video if you want to keep us telling you about all of these things. And if you want to get even more from us, you can go to patreon.com/Pixel Circus, like our Pixel Plus friends Adam D and Rowan iCarly did.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
All kinds of bonus stuff, including a bonus clip from us today. But first of all,
What's up?
I just want to tell you about a little something that I streamed yesterday night.
Okay, I got a text that said, I'm streaming a game you would like very much.
Yes. I streamed a game called Vertical Kingdoms.
I want you to know the text that you sent me sounded like, when you share something with someone from an app and it auto types a text for you?
It did.
It's like, check out this thing on Shein. You'd absolutely love Shein.
I think you would really enjoy this, and you'd enjoy my discount code.
Yeah.
Anthony73.
Yeah. It seemed like an auto share. The text was like, I'm streaming a game right now that I think you'd absolutely love. The game is called Vertical Kingdoms.
You know why? It's because half of my brain was turned off because I was streaming.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so my brain just went into communicate basic idea.
Which is why I didn't call you on at the time. I said, thank you, I'll check it out.
But I want to show you a little bit of it if I may.
You may. As long as it works, you may.
This is Vertical Kingdoms, Saige.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a little city builder where you build these really chill, tiny little pixel cities. And it's card-based.
Pixel Cities was the alternate name for this channel.
Yeah. It's all card-based, and you build an empire, and you unlock, and I was like, this is a very Saige game.
Now, this is not a very Anthony game.
Sometimes it is.
Okay.
It was basically the idea of building vertically. Like the whole idea is not just that you're building on cliffs,
Yeah.
but also that buildings build on top of each other and interlock in
Right.
like really fantasy art ways.
Uh-huh.
Like the buildings are all on these giant platforms that you can build, and buildings get built on top of other buildings, and
Yeah.
they turn into like these huge maze-like structures. And I was like, damn, that looks satisfying.
Yeah, that does look satisfying. That's a cool game.
It's a good game, a little indie game.
Oh, love a little indie game.
Yeah.
Love to build, love to manage. I am still having fun with Manor Lords.
Yeah?
I stopped streaming it. I just started playing it.
Too much fun?
It's not that it's too much fun. It's just not the right type of fun for me to have on the internet.
Yeah, because when Saige is truly having fun with a game, like you all watch Saige streaming and she's doing game stuff like on the internet. When Saige is really liking a game, she does this.
Yes, that is correct. And that is not my stream. Yeah, that's about it. That's all it looks like.
Like just 38 minutes in between you talking on stream of you just going.
Yeah, 100%. So that's Manor Lords for me. But I did stream Supermarket Simulator. Have you played Supermarket Simulator?
No, that sounds like you.
Bro, it's so much fun.
That sounds like not
Dude,
me.
it's so much fun.
You know what they should make a video game out of is Supermarket Sweep.
Oh my God. Has no one done that?
Nobody's made a supermarket sweep game.
Let me fact check you on this because Alex isn't here to fact check us.
Listen, not only has nobody ever made a supermarket sweep game, but here's what I'm going to tell you. NASA is hiding the ice wall from us. Don't fact check either of those.
There's a board game.
There is a board game.
There's a supermarket sweep board game.
Yeah, it's not what I want.
It's not what we're looking for at this moment.
I want a game
But
where...
I do want to play it. It has a companion app for scanning things. It's got barcodes.
Ooh.
Oh, I'm going to order this game.
You should order the game.
I'm going to order this game.
Yeah, that's a good game.
It's only a $13 game.
That's a good game
But it does take a long time to ship.
Yeah, because there probably aren't many of them.
Yeah.
I want it to
So
be...
excited.
I feel like Supermarket Sweep was off the air during the time it should have been around in order to get a... Like, if it had been around during the Wii... A Wii supermarket sweep
oh my
game?
God, are you kidding me?
Oh.
This?
Just
are you
this.
joking?
Just grabbing hams. Grabbing hams is what they call it.
I was thinking both sides. I'm thinking regular controller and nunchuck. I'm thinking remote and nunchuck.
Yeah.
I'm going both sides.
Ham, turkey, ham, turkey,
Yeah.
ham, turkey.
God, that would have been good.
Why did they go for anything except hams and turkeys?
I mean, it could still exist in VR. You can still do it with an Oculus or something.
They should do it.
That's still really satisfying.
I am very good about not... I'm very good about not moving too much in VR. Like I'm very good about my spatial awareness and not like messing anything up in my little space.
I'd tear through my apartment.
I would fucking destroy my apartment, dude.
Do you think you'd be good at supermarket sweep?
Yes.
Yeah?
Unbelievably
Like
so.
IRL, you'd be really good at it?
I would crush at supermarket sweep.
Yeah.
That's why that's why I keep saying turkey, ham. That's all you do.
Yeah.
During the final sweep, that's all you do. Everybody is like, oh, I'm going to grab cereal because cereal's kind of expensive. No.
No, you need guaranteed expensive things.
You need hams. Hams are like $50, $60.
But they also take up a lot of space in your cart.
Doesn't matter.
It does.
They don't take up as much space as people think. Boxes of cereal, particularly like family size.
They would stack well.
I don't care.
They'd stack better than hams.
Hams.
So is it?
Just
It's about
pile up a ham.
Is it about spending the most money or getting the most stuff?
Spending the most money in a certain amount of time.
Right.
And if you fill a cart, you can go back with another cart.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about that.
Yeah, but the time to get another cart.
It doesn't matter. It's insignificant. I've crunched the numbers. Turkeys and hams.
All right, everybody, let us know. Do you think you'd be good at supermarket sweep, and what would your strategy be? Can you beat Anthony's strategy? What's the most expensive things in a grocery store that would take up the least amount of room? I feel like there's got to be something that's like jarred that would be really expensive and not take up space, but you would be at risk of breaking them.
That's the thing.
Which is really funny.
I think it's turkeys, hams, and then when you're on your way back, if you have time, if you can plan it, you take a big swipe, just a running swipe at the tiny electronics thing that they always have and grab like a bunch of $40 earbuds.
Interesting. Yeah.
Just to fill in the gaps.
Yeah.
And then you just run back there.
Right. A lot of people are saying absolutely not. I'd be awful at it. Someone else suggested alcohol. I doubt they had alcohol in supermarket sweep.
No alcohol in supermarket
But if
sweep.
they did, would be smart. You
Yeah.
are right for that.
That would be the way to go, but I don't think they had alcohol.
Wait a minute. Lee Green Griffin, we have an expert, said, I literally watch it every day. Hold up.
Yeah,
Scrolled away and I gotta go back.
Don't fall for the candy bonuses.
Yeah.
Grab the meats and cheeses. That's
Don't fall
what's
for the
up.
coffee or candy bonuses. I agree. Meats and cheeses.
That's what's up. And that's why I say turkeys and hams, that's the densest, most expensive. Like if you ever try to buy like a full ham, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Particularly you get to that brand name ham.
Yeah.
That brand ham.
Brand ham. I'm going to back
Brand
up.
ham is the name of every child of every home and garden television network host.
Yeah, exactly. I love making this one for my son's birthday. Branham just turned 8 last week, and
That's
he
right.
absolutely loved this carrot cake
Mm-hmm.
that we made for his 8th birthday.
I think he'll appreciate the carrot cake, and the moms will appreciate this rustic farmhouse decor.
We made a second carrot cake that's a little boozy for the moms. Don't let the kids get their hands on this. I wanted to back up Jelly PB saying fancy nuts.
Mm-hmm.
I think fancy nuts are also really expensive. Those ones that only come with like 10 of them in the bag and it's a $10 bag.
Yeah.
It's $1 per nut. Really small, low impact in the cart, runs up the price well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
All of this is good advice
for when you
For
go
when
on
you're
Supermarket Sweep.
the 1980s television series Supermarket
Have
Sweep.
they ever rebooted Supermarket Sweep?
I want to say that they did.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say that the host, for some reason, I'm thinking was Leslie Ghostbuster.
Oh. Well, I had her name until you said it.
It's gone. It's Leslie Ghostbuster. Leslie Jones, thank you, on Hulu.
All right. Well, hey, we're talking about reboots today.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about it. So it was in 2020, which is...
Not that long ago.
But also incredibly dystopian. It was...
2020, when we were all imagining affording groceries.
Yeah, that's the thing.
When we were all imagining going
to a grocery store.
Going to a grocery store and buying our own groceries that weren't 50% incorrect when they showed up at the door.
Right. Well, in 2020, you had to do supermarket sweep, but at the end of it, you had to set all the stuff down and you had to let it air out and spray it with a little bit of Lysol.
Yeah, you had to leave that ham out on the street for a day and a half.
Yeah.
To get rid of the bad stuff.
Exactly. So I wonder if that was an early end to it. Because I'm right now, obviously, we're at a point where groceries are genuinely at record highs. Like, it is unbelievable to try and get groceries right now in America.
I cannot believe how much my groceries cost right now. I'm just one
wild.
guy.
Yeah.
I'm one guy.
I'm also one guy.
I eat like 5 things.
Yeah.
They are not expensive things normally.
That's why I do Costco now.
You got to do that, Costco.
I do Costco now.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to our supermarket podcast, where we talk exclusively about supermarket-related entertainment and supermarkets themselves.
Anyway, Supermarket Simulator is a really great new game.
Anyway, that's how we got there. Yeah,
it's a really fun game.
Forgot. But while we're talking about television and television that people haven't seen and television
reboots
that people are going to see, first of all, my condolences, Saige. I know that your favorite television show, Young Sheldon, ended this week. Are you okay?
It did?
As my favorite Young Sheldon influencer, I wanted to see how you're doing with the end of Young Sheldon.
Listen, I did a sponsored post once a few years ago for Young Sheldon, and I stand by that.
Get that. You got to get that bag. You got to
get that WB money. You know what I mean?
Get that W bag.
That W bag. The B in WB stands for bag.
Oh, yeah. If David Zaslav has anything to do with it.
The W stands for oney.
It's the oney bag.
Yeah.
Got to get that oney bag. It's the Upfronts. The Upfronts are where everybody announces to advertisers and press what their television lineup is going to be for the next year. Ooh. We had some big events. Reese Witherspoon showed up to the Amazon Upfronts.
Yeah.
As Elle Woods.
Yeah.
Did the thing in character as Elle Woods.
So cute. Loved it.
To announce the Legally Blonde prequel series.
Yeah.
Which,
I'm very confused by.
Pre-lawyer. You're going to go pre-lawyer.
So just
a high school girl.
And the thing is.
It's just a person in high school being a high schooler.
So when they announced that they were doing a Legally Blonde series, I was like, that's amazing. We're going to get to see Elle Woods in court.
I thought it was going to be every week Elle Woods is solving crimes
with courtroom procedural.
With her knowledge of fashion and taste and pop culture.
I thought it was going to be really cool.
Yeah.
Like I was really excited for a week-to-week like court dramedy.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like half outside of court.
Yeah.
And it's half in court. And it's like whatever's happening to Elle winds up influencing the case. You know, this thing, it feels like it writes itself.
Yeah. People were saying that like, yeah, I'm so confused. She had no interest in law before the first movie. That's the whole like arc of the movie.
The whole arc of the movie, like.
It's not like she was always working towards this.
No, it's just her. It's just her and what's his name in the hot tub after winter formal.
Yeah, I guess.
Ringa 12 in the live studio audience says, that's just Clueless.
Yeah, honestly, it is. It's Clueless.
It's literally just Clueless with the wrong license attached.
It's the Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie if you removed all the vampire slang.
Yeah. It's just Act 1.
Went to high school and ate lollipops.
It's actually really weird that they would do this, but a lot of the announcements this week were really weird.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've got, of course, HBO Max announced their Dune prequel series.
Yeah.
Set 10,000 years before Dune, because you got to be very careful. If you set it 10,000 years before, you can't fuck anything up with your movies.
Yeah.
Easy. Basta.
Easy.
It's about the Bene Gesserit, the spy ladies who run, the spy witch ladies who run the galaxy.
I've never seen or read a Dune.
I thought you saw the Dune.
No.
Oh.
Never Duned.
You should Dune.
Never Duned it.
Because he's, in the third movie, they got to turn him into a giant worm.
I've heard people like it.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
It's this long and it feels like it was directed by a French person. So, you know.
Cool.
Here's the deal. It's you know, they have the license.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't they do something with it? But because and it looks gorgeous based on the trailer, but because it's Max, I'm like, how long are they going to let this run and when are they going to take it away from me? That's the problem with Upfronts being mostly streaming services now.
Yeah.
I'm like, so what? You're going to make it disappear in like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You're going to take it away from us in like 9 days.
You know, and it strongly depends on which of the streaming services. They're all doing it to some extent, but like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, bring back Willow, cowards. Listen.
But like Rings of Power continues.
Rings of Power continues unabated. Nothing can stop the Rings of Power. If you liked Thirst Trap Sauron in the first season, you're going to love Thirst Trap Sauron continued. What else? Oh, the other big Amazon thing that I thought was actually very interesting.
Yeah. Tomb Raider series.
Tomb Raider series, executive produced and written by Phoebe WallerBridge. That's going to be very good.
That's going to be so good.
So Phoebe Waller-Bridge, like, listen, as you have opinions about whoever you want to have opinions about in terms of their acting or whether you like, but Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who I love. I love in everything she's ever done. I love every project she's ever made.
Yes.
I think she's a brilliant actor. I think she's a brilliant writer. I think she's a brilliant creative mind for creating a show. And also, she did extensive rewrites on that Indiana Jones on Dial of Destiny.
Yeah, that's right.
She also, from what I hear, also uncredited, and this is nothing I heard officially, this is just rumors that I think a lot of people have heard, did a lot of on-set rewriting during Solo for her character. Like she and Donald Glover worked out like a lot of stuff between their characters.
That's cool. I agree with mostly Megan in the live studio audience. He said going from Indiana Jones to Tomb Raider is beautiful.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
right?
It's very cool.
I think the Tomb Raider movie they made with Alicia Vikander was fine.
Yeah,
it was fine.
It was fun.
It was. I think the first two Tomb Raider movies that they made with Angelina Jolie were very like right time, right place.
Yeah,
they're fun.
Yeah,
but I think Tomb Raider deserves like the full Indiana Jones treatment.
I agree. I think it deserves like a real fresh take on it.
Yeah.
Because all of them came out just a little too early for us to treat women entirely like people.
No, I mean the Tomb Raider stuff for Angelina Jolie was basically all the marketing was look how hot Angelina Jolie is as Tomb Raider.
Yes.
And everybody was like, doesn't the Tomb Raider have a name? And they're like, yeah. Hot Tomb Raider.
Yeah, exactly.
But when you got into the movie, there was obviously a little bit more to it, but not tons.
Not a lot, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Pretty unfortunate. I still think they're fun movies. I think all of them are fun movies. But I'm looking forward to this. I think this is really neat. So this is a series for Amazon Prime. We don't have much other information on it right now. But I'm really excited about it. We know that there's been a lot of trade arounds with the various rights of Tomb Raider. And I felt like because they were moving so much, it was like, yeah, things are going to happen.
Yeah. And plus this is like during anything that's announced during Upfronts is more likely to happen than not.
Oh, I just mean when we heard about the trading of the IP of like, okay, well, who has this and who has that and people selling it off and people buying the IP for Tomb Raider.
Right.
I was like, people are acquiring Tomb Raider IP. People want to make Tomb Raider stuff.
You'd think so, but I'm looking at you, Square Enix. You acquired the Tomb Raider IP, and you didn't want to make Tomb Raider. What's that about?
Very interesting. But if the show does well, we know that it'll probably lead to a game.
Yeah.
You know? That is kind of how things go right now.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that.
I hope it's all great.
In other strange announcements that we knew were coming.
Mm-hmm.
But I honestly didn't think it was going to happen this way, Saige.
Yeah.
The SpiderMan Noir series is happening on Amazon, and it's live action.
Yeah. Starring Nicolas Cage.
And it is Nick Cage. So we had heard rumblings of the SpiderMan Noir series for a long time, but I thought it was going to be animated.
Yeah, I would have thought so. Yeah, I definitely would have thought so. Even especially when they said Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
I was like, they're not doing a live action Nicolas Cage Spider-Man. Why would they?
Nicolas Cage is like, he's tired. You can see how tired he is. He's just going to run. He's 60 years old.
Yeah, we're getting a 60-year-old Spider-Man.
He's 60 years young. I mean, he'll mostly be, I see this as kind of mostly a Mandalorian style thing where he's going to be in the costume.
Yeah.
And when he's in the costume, obviously,
it's not going to be Nicolas Cage.
Somebody else can be doing stunts and fighting and stuff like that for him.
Sure.
But I do love it. Like I do love it because I love SpiderMan Noir.
Mm-hmm.
They are going to have to flesh out the character, the Spider-Verse version of the character, a bit more. The nice thing about the cast of supporting Spiders peoples in the first Spider-Verse is they didn't have so much screen time that they needed tons and tons of depth to their characters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's like, I like egg creams and I like punching Nazis. Whoa, color. You know what I mean? And then it was kind of like, so they're going to have to add a ton.
They are, absolutely. They're going to have to really expand on it. And that's cool.
Yeah, and I wonder how much they're going to bring from the Spider-Man Noir comics.
Look, I get shit for this every time. I'm not a Nicolas Cage person. I think occasionally it hits, but most of the time he doesn't for me. Like it is an occasion when Nicolas Cage hits for me, right? I'm just not.
A Nicolas occasion.
I'm not a Nick Cage girly. I'm not. And when he gets cast in things that he is not actually like the right person for, it makes me cringe a little bit because it feels like bad elder millennial humor of like, haha, look, it's Nick Cage. And I'm
Nick
like,
Cage.
That doesn't do anything for me. Like that like gives to me like Chuck Norris can kick down a wall just looking at it humor.
But I think the whole reason this is even happening is because Nick Cage was so good as Spider-Man Noir. Now, was it a part that only Nick Cage could play? No.
But it's like, it was a meme, essentially. Like, it was a joke in the movie, even.
It was a bit of a joke.
Like, he was a goof.
It was a goof.
Do you want all that goof all the time?
Well, I wonder how much goof we're going to get. We do know that Steve Lightfoot and Oren Uziel, who are the producers of The Punisher.
Yeah.
For Steve Lightfoot and 22 Jump Street for Oren Uziel. So feels like when you squash those things together, you get Spider-Man Noir in sort of a Deadpool-y way.
I hate everything about that.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry. It's not for me. The combination of those two things is not for me.
But are you ready for the third variable? The key director that's been signed on to do the first couple episodes, director usually, the director of the pilot or the first two episodes usually sets the tone and the style for the entire series. Other directors tend to follow that. Is Henry Bradbeer, who was one of the main episode directors on Fleabag, which is a third tonal shift.
Yeah, that I'm not sure how they all fit in there.
I don't know how it all comes together. I mean, it's action comedy, probably with like a little bit of drama, a little bit of self-awareness.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting.
I think it's going to be a lot. Because there is the like correlation there of the like kind of memey self-awareness. I support everybody who is into this. And I know that this is a me thing and not an objectively bad thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm not saying this is a bad thing. I'm saying this is not for me in the factors that we have in front of us. If we just lay it all out on a board and we see the recipe.
Well, it's not,
I'm like, I don't think I'm going to like whatever this makes.
It's not something that you hear about and immediately go, this is a slam dunk or this is an absolute flop. It's one of those things where like you look at it and I'm just like, I can see momentary visions of futures possible.
Yeah.
There are 80 different ways this show could go.
Yeah.
They are going to have to thread a pretty interesting needle for this show to work. And I'm waiting to see what it is. This is going to have to be a co-pro between Sony Television and Amazon.
Yeah.
It does, this is another one of those things where Sony is like, we still have Spider-Man.
Right.
What are things that people like about Spider-Man?
Exactly, and they never know the answer to that. They actually never get it right when they do that. So I don't have a lot of trust in them for that.
Yeah.
Mostly Megan said, wait, is this because Amazon doesn't have an animation studio? I mean, they've worked previously with Titmouse, who does great animation. So like, they have places they go to for animation.
This was a decision.
Yeah.
This was a stylistic decision and not a decision based on budget.
I don't think it's one I agree with, but I'm curious to see what happens, and I will definitely, out of curiosity, check it out.
Look, here's the thing. As a Spider-Man fan, as like a lifelong lover of Spider-Man, one thing I will say about Sony having the rights to Spider-Man is it keeps Spider-Man as uneven as Spider-Man has always been.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Every time there's something good happening, like with a Spider-Man project,
Sony is the Sith.
something weird is happening.
Sony is the Sith. They bring balance to the Force.
Yeah.
We don't like it, but they do.
Like, Fox redefined children's animation with the Spider-Man 1994 animated series.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what if we follow it up with a Spider-Man cartoon where he goes to a planet of animal people and it's all about him and animal people.
Legally, you can't stop us.
Legally, you can't stop us.
Yeah, I really do think. I think Sony is the Sith, and that's the balance that we exist in. I don't know if I really agree with everybody's required balance, but that's the rules, baby.
If everything that was made about Spider-Man was good all the time, we wouldn't have had Spider-Verse to begin with, because half of Spider-Verse is dunking on all the weird Spider-Man stuff that's happened throughout history.
Okay, fair.
The uneven quality of Spider-Man is one of the things that makes Spider-Man Spider-Man.
Maybe. I'd be curious what it's like to live in a world that isn't.
Oh, I'd love it too, but we just can't have it.
But we can't.
We can't.
You can't. I want to talk about, while we're talking about streaming services.
Sure.
Right?
Love streaming services.
All these, hey guys, I know you've heard this in a million places already. All these bundles, I just also want to source your opinions on these. So I really do hate the word bundle. It is one of my ick words, so it's very hard for me to say it. I'm powering through it for you.
Yeah.
All of these little package deals that they're doing for streaming services that we're all aware, we all look at and go, oh, cable?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean cable packages?
It's just cable.
Oh, you're doing cable packages? Oh, okay.
Oh, it's cable, and it's just as expensive as cable was, but now I have a second bill to the cable company because of my internet?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
How we feeling, folks?
Good.
How we feeling?
I'm so happy that cable's back. Oh, thank God.
Now, here's my question.
Oh, thank God that all of the quality of all the things that we're watching is bad again, and it's hard to find anything good, and we never know what to do, and it costs $1,000.
Well, here's the thing, Anthony. I can't look at these packages as a bad thing in comparison to the thing it already is. I can look at it as a bad thing before it was, but right now we're all paying for all of these streaming services, right? So I'm like, it's hard because they built us up to this horrible place. So I'm like, doing the packages isn't worse than it is right now, you know?
Yes.
Until it gets to the point where you can only get the packages.
Right. We're talking
which
about,
I wonder if we'll get there.
We're definitely thinking about right now, Game Pass, good for you.
Yeah.
Game Pass, good for person who has Game Pass, lots of games, very small price. Once everything becomes a Game Pass style service, or Game Pass becomes the dominant service, that price continues to just go up and up and up. They keep raising the price. They just raise the price again.
I guess I'm just curious, is it's like, okay, hypothetically.
And
what?
We don't pay any of the people who make the stuff anymore.
Right. Now that is a fucking problem. But again, it's the existing problem. It isn't the new problem of the packages, right? So I'm trying to like break this down in my brain of what is actually happening right now, because it is a problem that streamers aren't paying residuals to writers.
Yes.
Right. That is not a new problem with the packages of these services.
Right.
So focusing on the packages of these services.
You want to focus on the package of the bundle.
But I'm like, my only concern really, I mean, there's many concerns, but my only new concern is the cable inevitability, which was we're packaging together networks. And then if you want to get this one network you like, you have to pay for 5 that you don't.
Right.
Which we're not at yet. But do we think, now because these are all separate companies, do we think that it goes there?
The only time cable ever talked about a la carte channels is what they were calling it, was when they were dying already.
Right. So I'm wondering, do we think it goes there because these companies are so much more independent now? Well, so it's like Disney would never want to get to a point where you have to get something non-Disney to get Disney, right?
Yeah, no, but Disney will do something where if they have a niche network or niche interest. And what's interesting is you can sort of do this without bundles.
Yeah.
But you can do it more explicitly with bundles. If Disney has a particular vertical of content that they think that you will enjoy, they can offer that as a separate streaming service and just put it on a Disney bundle, right? Yeah. Or what they all want to do eventually is just put everything under one monolithic name. Like the bundles right now are more about brand recognition than anything else.
Yeah.
You can't just say like, hey, for sports, go to Disney Plus. No, for sports, you have to go to ESPN. And until that goes away, or maybe it never goes away.
Yeah.
But that means you have to get an ESPN bundle as part of your like Hulu Disney Plus subscription.
Yeah. So it's like you have to have probably Disney Plus already or Hulu already.
Yeah.
And then you can add ESPN, which is already kind of a thing. I guess I wanted to check in to see how you're all doing. So
terribly, Saige. Thank you for asking. Yeah. It's garbage.
Yeah, I figured that might be the case.
Saige, it's awful out here.
Yeah.
Saige.
Yeah.
It's real bad.
So where we're at right now is AMC is doing AMC Shudder Acorn TV?
For British people, for people who like British TV.
Oh, and Sundance Now. Never heard of Acorn TV.
Acorn's pretty dope if you like British stuff. It's no BritBox, but it's okay.
And then you've got Fox, Warner Bros. Discovery, and Disney putting together Venu, which is their sports streaming service.
Venu sounds like something I would have to take an antibiotic for.
Venu sounds like something that somebody that hangs out at the gas station with a pamphlet and a little vest on would try and convince me to come into the Church of Scientology to meet.
Yeah, Venu is definitely a problem, and that's why we need you to hold these 2 cans and talk about your stress.
Exactly. So that sports bundle is all of the ESPNs, ABC, Fox, which is interesting because those aren't inherently sports channels.
No.
So if you just want to get ABC and Fox.
But that's that value. Also, if you're
TNT, TBS, True TV.
Oh, this is the Old Person in Sports Network.
It is. It's the Old Person in Sports Network.
This is the Old Person in Sports bundle. This is if you don't understand streaming.
Yeah.
Here's your sports and your yelling white man to tell you about why life is bad.
This is Empty Nester Parent bundle.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, this is the combo where it feels like they're going for that really like heteronormative middle America. We have a bunch of sports networks and a couple for mom too, you know? Like she probably wants to get her TNT or TBS.
You know how the boys like to watch the game.
Right. Verizon has a bundle that has a pretty good deal, reduced rate on Netflix and Max for their customers.
Ooh.
But you have to be a Verizon customer for that.
A deal on HBO Max. A deal on Max. Ooh. That's great because they have over 3 shows left.
Here's the thing. Max is that network that is the backup where it has a bunch of things that other networks also have. Mm-hmm. So we run into this problem a lot recently because
it's got the
of
HBO
MILF
library.
Manor.
Yeah.
So MILF Manor is on Discovery Plus.
Mm-hmm.
But Discovery Plus is the worst streaming service on the planet.
But it's all Discovery, so.
I know. But you can't adjust, for instance, the quality you're watching at.
No.
You can't adjust anything on Discovery. If Discovery's not working good, it's on Max.
It's on Max. Do you want
to get it on Max? No!
It's all like, it's trash. It's trash. But that's the problem, is MILF Manor should not be on Max.
Right.
The stuff that used to be on Max is the stuff that should be on Max because that was HBO.
Yeah.
The home box office.
Right.
The network that brings the movies and quality cinema to your home. Like MILF Manor. Yeah, this is all garbage.
There's Paramount Plus with Showtime.
Yeah.
Max with Discovery Plus.
Great.
Amazon Prime with just Prime. Apple TV with a couple of other things. I don't know, man. It all just seems like there is yet to be one that has that even checks like 2 real boxes for me. There's yet to be one of them, except for Disney Hulu.
Yeah.
Disney Hulu is the only one for me that actually checks 2 boxes of libraries of content I want access to.
Yeah. Disney Plus, obviously.
Which again, they're like the same
pretty
thing
good
now.
Stuff. And then Hulu just basically has all the network TV Disney stuff. Yep. But they're trying to consolidate all that. It's trash, man. It's a real bad time to want to consume anything.
Yeah.
It's a real bad time to want to enjoy any sort of thing.
Yeah, it's a bad time for enjoying.
It's a bad time for enjoyment. But
that includes maybe it's a good time. Maybe it's a bad time if you're a horror fan. If you're an enjoyer of horror.
If you're an enjoyer of horror.
I've got some good and some bad for you.
Okay.
Some good and some questionable, at least. We have the first look at Pyramid Head for Return to Silent Hill. And I am very excited personally. I was thinking about it and I'm like, there's a lot of things that people will be like, oh, I'm so gay for this.
Yeah.
I'm so straight for Pyramid Head as a not straight person.
Yeah, Pyramid Head. Yeah. Pyramid Head does it for a lot of people.
Like really does.
Yeah.
So let's just take a look at it together as a family.
That's Pyramid Head.
So we see a lot of like scarred up skin texture that we haven't really seen before.
Yeah.
How do we feel?
The lighting on this is weird. I mean, it's a promo still, which makes sense. Yeah. But I'm just trying. It's got that plasticky lighting look where I can't tell if I'm looking at a CG guy or a real guy.
I think we're looking at a real guy, and I think he can get it. I'm just gonna stand by that. I think he can get it.
Yeah, on Silent Will, yes, it looks like an action figure shot.
It does. It
looks like a Hot Toys or a Necco ad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do like all the detail. I mean, obviously, like with superheroes, we saw all the detail and texture that they add to the costumes, right?
Yeah.
These are creatures, and they're creatures that we've only seen in like certain video game fidelity.
Yeah.
And so the idea of like all the scar tissue and all the detailing on Pyramid Head is good.
I think it's really cool. So this is, of course, the film adaptation of Silent Hill 2. And I'm a big Silent Hill 2 fan.
Mm-hmm.
I love Silent Hill 2.
Now, do we know... We know that we know for sure that it is a Silent Hill 2 adaptation.
Yes,
that's what they
absolutely.
talked about.
Return to Silent Hill is a film adaptation of Silent Hill 2 specifically.
Starring the #1 woman respecter, James.
I'm just a huge Silent Hill fan. So I wanted to say anything they do, I'm like, hell yeah to, but then I remembered that weird...
Ascension?
Yeah. Then I remembered Ascension and I was like, okay, well not anything.
Or whatever it was called. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Ascension. I think you're right. And I'm like, okay, fair enough. That's pretty much all we have for Silent Hill right now, but that was enough for me. Pyramid Head was the correct thing to show me.
Yeah, I'm excited for a Silent Hill 2 adaptation. In all honesty, like as good, the first Silent Hill movie, folks, is good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's just a story of Silent Hill.
Yeah.
It has very little to do with anything in the continuity.
It does.
But it's a Silent Hill thing. And I thought it was
universe, but it's not an adaptation of a game.
No, I thought it was pretty good.
So I'm excited that this is adaptation of a game.
Me too.
I think the story of Silent Hill 2, I think we talk about this a lot of games that are like more fun to watch than play. I love Silent Hill 2. I think it's the most fun. It's my favorite. It's one of my favorite games of all time. But for a lot of people that don't play horror games, it's such a good story that I'm like really excited people will get to experience in a different medium that don't enjoy horror games.
Yeah. I can also understand why people maybe don't enjoy playing Silent Hill 2. Silent Hill 2 has entire segments of 10, 15 minutes where you just walk straight.
Yeah.
And it's not even through a scary area. You just walk straight.
Yeah.
They start Silent Hill 2 with you walking down a grassy hill, just chilling for 7.5 minutes.
And it is still one of the best horror games of all time.
It's amazing.
It's still one of the best horror games of all time.
But I can understand why people don't want to play it. But it's fun.
Disagree, play it.
It's fun and it's bonkers, and I love it.
If you haven't played it, play it. Anthony's giving you a really bad pitch on it. It's a great fucking game.
It's like my favorite horror game of all time.
It is continually labeled as the scariest horror game of all time.
It is, but when people say I didn't enjoy playing it, I understand why.
That's not the only horror news that we got, though. There is so much.
Yeah.
You want to start with yours?
Sure. Let's talk about Jason Universe. Folks, Friday the 13th is not just a character or a movie or a camp. It's also a universe.
Sure, why not?
It's a Jason universe. It's a Jason Uni1 V3ers.
Yeah.
A Jason Uni1 V3ers.
What's the reason for the numbers? I don't get it.
I don't understand it either.
1v3?
Friday the 13th. They put a 1 and a 3 in there, but they put a V in between.
Yeah.
Because 7, 8, 9.
But you need the V in between just because like 1v3 is a thing.
Yeah.
If 1v3 wasn't a thing and it was like almost any other letter in between, I would be like, I see, you just put a 13 in there. But it's the 1v3 that throws me off.
It's a subtle dig at the great asymmetric horror game that they shut down. They're like, remember that game that we took away from you?
Yeah.
We do. Wink.
Yeah.
Horror Inc. is expanding the Friday the 13th franchise into a new era with the launch of Jason Universe, which if this was a year and a half ago, I would swear to you was a series of NFTs of hockey masks.
Yeah.
What they're saying is that new Friday the 13th activations. Mm-hmm. I hate activation as a corporate word, by the way.
Yeah, it's rough.
Activation.
Because it can mean anything, and that's on purpose.
We're starting this great activation. What is it? Is it a game? Is it a breakfast cereal? Is it a
multi-platform activation? What kinds of platforms?
That doesn't mean anything.
It's multimedia. Which ones?
They say that it will span a range of platforms from entertainment, games. I thought they didn't like games. Immersive experiences, merchandise, and more to be announced throughout 2024 via Jason Universe 13. It doesn't say anything. We do know, of course, that there is a Crystal Lake, a Camp Crystal Lake series coming from A24.
Yeah.
That was originally supposed to have Brian Fuller as showrunner.
Yeah.
But of course, as most things with Brian Fuller, if you don't let Brian Fuller do it the way he wants to, he packs up and he leaves, which is what happened here.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something, as much as like in the industry, I think they think that Brian Fuller has a reputation as being difficult to work with. I don't think they understand that to audiences.
Yeah.
We see Brian Fuller walk away from something and we go, it's going to be bad now.
Yeah.
It's going to be bad now.
Yeah.
So here's what we say. Did you know that the company that owns the rights to Jason is called Horror Incorporated?
Honestly, good for them.
Yeah.
Good for them for getting that.
I just think of them as rivals to the Scooby Gang.
Yeah.
Like they're the ones that are causing the mischief.
Mystery Inc. versus Horror Inc. Yeah.
Yeah. They set up people with fake ghost kits.
Yeah.
They go to abandoned amusement parks and they give seminars on how to turn your business around through hauntings.
That's where people are getting all those good masks.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. It's Horror Inc. So you've got them saying that Crystal Lake is coming, and all you have them saying is Jason. It's coming, and Jason and activations. We're focused on honoring the legacy while elevating the fan experience and appealing to today's horror audiences.
Synergy. This sounds like a LinkedIn post.
They launched a logo.
Yeah, they did. They love to launch a logo.
There's nothing corporations love more than to launch a logo. What are you doing with Friday the 13th? Say something. Say
give
anything,
us something.
please.
I mean, movies, games, and interactive experiences. Do you think they're going to do something like Silent Hill Ascension?
I hope so. I hope we get more and more interactive series.
I'm curious for you all. Do you think we live in a world where Friday the 13th is the right kind of franchise for today's horror?
I've got a question for y'all. Do you think we live in a society?
All good questions. I'm not in a Friday the 13th era. I grew up with these movies. I loved them when I was younger. I'm not a serial killer horror person anymore.
Yeah.
The only one that has ever still like kept me was Scream. But it is so... the serial killer is the point, but it's also not. You know what I mean? There is such a specific thing to that. Serial killer horror, your Texas Chainsaw Massacres, your Friday the 13th, those are not movies that appeal to me very much anymore. That's not the kind of horror I enjoy sitting down and watching. I've always been more of a paranormal horror fan anyways.
Yeah.
But slashers don't do it for me. The new Saw reboot wasn't appealing to me.
Saw I don't like. Saw I don't like because it's just about people torturing other people.
Yeah.
Something like a Jason or a Freddy or a Michael Myers, I can get behind. Like a weird semi-supernatural faceless killer. Like
Freddy is different, yeah.
As long as it's fun.
Yeah.
And it's scary and it has like a little bit of a sense of humor, which the Friday the 13th movies have always been good at.
Yeah.
I don't know. Somebody in the live studio audience said, I've never felt less activated.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is like, you can't just say Friday the 13th and have me running to a theater or running to a TV or whatever.
My guess is this was just such a big week that they were like, we need to let them know that there's going to be something. We need to get people thinking about Friday the 13th. And then when they see the announcements for it.
They missed a date on something. Yeah. Something was supposed to be announced.
I bet.
They had the wheels turning and they just couldn't stop it.
Yeah, I bet that's probably it. I am nervous about companies that are like trying to do too much with an IP. We've already had a lot of Friday the 13th movies when they're like, we're doing a whole universe. I'm like, okay, are we doing the things that are good or are we doing things to do them? And we can only wait and see.
When they attempt to make more because they're like, it's called Friday the 13th and we're almost at 13 movies. So we just got to push through.
We should have a whole universe of things. Jason is such a household name.
We just got to push through and do 13 because the number 13th movie.
Yeah.
That's worth spending millions of dollars on, right?
I'm curious. Quasi brought up a good point, said maybe they take Jason Voorhees the route that they did with the Chucky TV series. I haven't watched it, but I hear nothing but really good things about it and I need to.
It's a good show.
Yeah.
It's a good show.
And then I also say I'm not into slashers, but the Fear Street movies were fabulous.
Yeah.
Those were great slasher movies. And the 70s one was such a Friday the 13th. It was such an ode to Friday the 13th.
Yeah. I think, you know, when you say something like, I'm not into slasher movies, I think what that means, what that usually means is like, it's a genre and there's so much of it.
Yeah.
But as a basic genre, the ideas behind this basic genre don't excite me enough. It has to be something really interesting within that space.
Yeah.
So that's one of the horror announcements, and it's not really an announcement.
But there's so much more.
Yeah.
I have some that actually are announcements, okay? Every scary movie you've ever seen is getting a sequel. That does include the actual Scary Movie franchise, which is returning, but that's unrelated.
I don't like it, but go on.
First of all, Five Nights at Freddy's 2. We knew they were doing another Five Nights at Freddy's. That gets a 2025 release window. The first movie was really fun. It was really good. I'm not a Five Nights at Freddy's invested person.
No.
It's a fun movie.
You probably, if you're a patron, you saw us dig through the lore as written by a teenager who tried to recount the lore to somebody. And we were so lost.
Yeah. So Five Nights at Freddy's 2 will be December 5th, 2025.
Okay.
We've got Megan 2.0.
Mithrigan 2? So that would be Meforgan.
Mithrigan 2.0.
That would be Megforan.
Not quite. Is getting delayed by a month and moving from May to June 2025. The Black Phone 2, with another delay, is moving from October 2025 to June. Oh, no, sorry. It's moving from June. They put them backwards on here. From June 2025 to October 2025.
Is huge. And congratulations to Scott and the crew on Black Phone 2, because that means it's a Halloween horror movie now.
Yeah, that is fantastic.
That's
and Black Phone has been praised as being an actually unique and original horror IP for the first time in a long time.
It's a great movie.
Which is really cool. You guys know I'm not a Megan girly. I wanted to be. I wasn't a Mithrigan girl. I thought I was going to be. I was hyping it up all the way down. Yeah. I was begging everybody to watch the trailer with me. Didn't end up doing it for me. I wish it had.
No, Mithrigan did not deliver on the promise of Mithrigan.
It did for a lot of people, and I hear that. It didn't for me.
I think it was solid.
Yeah.
I didn't love it the way I wanted to. That's what I'll say.
Yeah. It was not solid for me. It was actually, I I'm going to be honest. I disliked it.
You disliked it?
I actually disliked it. I didn't just not love it. I disliked it.
I would put it over, I don't know. It was real middle of the road for me.
I have a lot of opinions on it.
What was the name? I put it over. What was the name of that James Wan one that we watched where the twin was on the back of the head?
Everything is over. Oh God.
The twin was on the back of the head.
God. No, not parasite. A similar word.
Malevolent.
That is one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
But people really love Malevolent.
I don't understand. Genuinely, if you say you love Megan, I'm like, I get it. If you say you love Malevolent or Malignant, there we go. That's why. I was like, Malevolent doesn't sound right. Thank you. Sorry. We read the first one that came up in chat. Don't blame us. Blame the person in chat.
Yeah.
Don't really. We love you. Thank you. Malignant. If you say you love Malignant, I have genuine questions for you, and I genuinely question you as a person.
Yes. But if you say
you love Megan.
If you say you love Megan.
That makes sense. It was fun in a lot of ways. Malignant, I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And it's not that it's like an offensive movie.
No.
It does
hate women.
It does hate women.
It does hate women.
There is one thing about it. We did also a very in-depth review of this on the Patreon. It does fucking hate women. It uses a lot of bad tropes.
It hates story.
It's lazy.
It hates plot.
Yeah.
It hates logic.
It's fucking nonsense. That movie is nonsense. You couldn't pull a thread through that movie. Oh my God. James Wan, I couldn't believe it. And I was a James Wan stan.
I was not.
I was. Because I'm a huge Conjuring person.
I know you are.
I'm a huge Conjuring person. I love The Conjuring. I was going in ready. And it was one of the worst horror movies I've ever seen. If you can even call it a horror movie. Truly and honestly, I don't know if I would.
It was weird. But listen, Megan did very well at the box office.
Crushed. People loved it. A lot of Halloween costumes.
Megan did extremely well on social. It did extremely well just as in the zeitgeist. It was a society thing.
Yeah.
It was a cultural thing so you can't not do a sequel.
Yeah.
I hope they take it in like a completely weird, different direction.
Yeah. They left it at the end too of that movie. We were like, yes. Okay. So you're planning on doing another.
Yeah.
So these are all Blumhouse movies. This is basically the Blumhouse 2025 lineup, and they're all sequels so far. It doesn't mean there will be nothing else.
No.
This is just what they kind of came to this week with.
Yeah.
So these were mostly calendar updates for things that have already been announced. Of these, I'll be honest, I'm excited about Black Phone. I'm excited about Five Nights at Freddy's too.
Yeah. I'm ready to watch all three of them.
Yeah.
I'm ready to watch all three of those films. Pretty decent showing for Blumhouse.
Yeah.
Although I will say, and this is what I'm going to say about everything about these upfronts, I am more excited about new than I am about IP at this point.
Yes.
I do. Listen, I say this as a gentleman wearing a Star Wars shirt right now. I am more excited about new stuff than I am about IP.
Yeah.
I worry that we're over-tilling the fields, Saige.
Yeah.
Such a bumper crop of IPs, but our fields will go fallow in 10 years.
I also know that this time of year is really about the announcements that are familiar to people. So it doesn't mean that there won't be original IP. Obviously, we do get stray further and further from original creative ideas every day. But I do think that this is the equivalent of listening in on an investor call.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it is that investors don't care about this new thing because we don't know if it's valuable yet.
Mm-hmm.
They care about the existing IP that they know can succeed. So I don't think people are leading with their original IP this week.
This is upfronts, like we're saying. Upfronts are for advertisers and buyers. It's not, the press goes there and they report on it. But and there were new things that were announced. They just didn't make headlines. They didn't get a lot of people aren't showing them off.
Exactly.
So there, as far as other big things which we cannot show off, Saige, in the film industry.
Oh yeah.
Let's talk a bit about the Wicked trailer, which we can't even show a frame of.
Oh no, absolutely not.
We got taken so hard for Wicked last time.
Yeah, we did.
Just for showing some of the trailer and saying that we liked it.
And we've been hit so many times this week. We're not trying. We're not trying it. I loved the Wicked trailer. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. We got a little bit of a preview of some of the vocals and everybody sounds incredible.
Yes.
I was looking at that and I was like, look, it's Wicked. I've seen Wicked on stage recently. I just saw it again in December for the third time.
But everyone had a Scottish accent.
They didn't, unfortunately.
Oh.
That's why I bought the tickets. I was hoping.
if you could crush a wish with your house, would you? Would you?
I'm so excited.
Popular.
Seth Bauer in the live studio audience said, so much on my feed is about, okay, how are they planning on splitting this into 2 films? I'm very curious about that as well. But
if you mine from the book and the musical, there is so much material for 2 films.
So if you've watched the stage play, the musical, Act 2 feels like a separate movie. It really does. And Act 2 is rushed. They have to time skip a lot in Act 2 to get through it.
Yes.
Because they can't keep you there all day. So it's clearly Act 2. None of Act 2 is in this trailer, so it makes perfect sense to me. I understand for people who maybe are not as familiar with it, don't remember it as well, or just haven't seen the stage play, that makes sense.
In the books,
Act 2 is like, there's so much in Act 2.
Yeah, and the books also, or the movie also downplays a lot, the musical downplays a lot of stuff from the book about the different tribes of Oz and the Winkies and stuff like that. A lot of that stuff gets a lot
That's like not in there at all. Yeah.
It gets a lot more of like the socio-political stuff around Oz that mirrors what's going on with Elphaba. Like, it's good. And if they add even just a little bit of that into the movie, I could see there being 2 movies very easily.
Yeah.
The other thing I want to say is from the first trailer to this new trailer, they had some time with those VFX.
They look beautiful. I have like a little bit of chills thinking about it. I'm obviously a big fan of this, but like, it's a really good trailer.
The first trailer looked good too. And even though the VFX were a little shiny plastic, we were like, oh, that's okay because it's about Oz.
Yeah.
And also, we're pretty sure they're not done.
Exactly.
And I gotta say, every shot in this trailer looks real good.
Yeah.
Real good.
It like all looks fabulous. The makeup, the costuming is so important to Wicked. Every time they do a new run of Wicked, there's like usually an interview with the costume designer because they get to redesign a lot of these school uniforms every time. And there's like so much thought put into these. I think everything looks gorgeous. I think they hit a lot of the really important things. We also saw in chat and also online a lot of people who were nervous about the Ariana Grande casting being like, never mind, she's great.
Yeah,
she's doing
perfect.
great. She's actually doing wonderfully in it.
There's sometimes like, I think people, all right, there are 2 different types of talent that are on display in a stage musical and a film. Mm-hmm. And I think people forget that like, she can't screw it up like live. You know what I mean? There's no, we went to see Wicked and the lead was really bad. She couldn't hit her notes. She couldn't do this. There was no like...
And nobody's going to think that of Ariana Grande's vocals.
Yeah.
She's obviously an incredibly talented vocalist and she comes from Broadway. Like she is a Broadway performer.
And then there was also the whole thing of like Ariana Grande, like Sam and Cat Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
Like, which,
a lot of people aren't taking all of it into account.
Which I remember that I'm old enough to remember like the big headlines about we can't believe Madonna is going to be in Evita.
Yeah.
Madonna?
Yeah.
From Dick Tracy? Madonna, who's like not even really an actor?
Yeah.
Lady Gaga with A Star Is Born. Everybody was like, can she act? I mean, we know she can sing, but what's she doing in this movie?
Right. And Ariana Grande is known for doing both, but a lot of people know her as one or the other.
Yeah.
Here's a few things. One, I love that she was just such a big fan of it. Her entire career, you can see a million videos of her talking about how Glinda is a dream role of hers and her singing these songs just because. There was also a bunch of interviews with Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo that showed just kind of like how close they got through this. And for it being the characters that they are is so important. It's so beautiful and unexpected because I think a lot of us don't humanize a celebrity as big as Ariana Grande. You don't picture somebody being friends with her. But Cynthia Erivo spoke so highly of like their bond of it that I was like, okay, I'm in.
Yeah.
Okay. That's really sweet because them being mildly, maybe almost queerly in love with each other is really important to Wicked.
Yes.
Like they are in a very confusing love with each other that is uninterpreted and doesn't need to be.
Also now they're in Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo are now in a horrible, bitter feud, which perfectly mirrors what happens.
Exactly.
Yeah, they were friend, horrible falling out, and it works beautifully in the movie.
I'll have you know, in Wicked, they actually do not have a falling out. They only have to fake one. Just saying. Sorry, spoilers for Wicked for the stage play that's been happening for 20 years. Anyways, I just loved this trailer. I think it was so fantastic. Thank you to Flatlander for posting it in the Discord, who I believe said like attention to Saiges specifically.
Yeah.
And you write about that.
I love seeing all of the different casting. I think everybody looks great. Obviously visually, this is an important movie. And I think, like you're saying, costumes, makeup, not just on Elphaba, but like, or somebody who's supposed to be like more of a fantastical sort of part of Oz. But like, even Ariana Grande's like makeup, hair, eyebrows as Glinda, like
so good.
Really sell the Glinda of it.
I'm so
in. It looks good.
I'm so incredibly
Isn't it a legitimate falling out in the book version? There is a legitimate falling out, yeah. I'm more familiar with the book. I've read the book a couple times, and I've only seen chunks of the musical.
It's so good. It is like there is a falling out, but the interpretation has always been that like they have to play it up. They love each other very much, and she is genuinely devastated to see what becomes of her.
Which is also fine because there were more books in the series.
Yeah,
and like
so many. There's so many books.
It's enough slices.
Yeah,
and
it's beautiful. Their relationship is beautiful.
It becomes a more real feud, obviously, as time goes on.
Well, time doesn't go. Well, it doesn't matter. Yeah. No. She. Yeah. In Act 2. Sorry.
No, I'm talking about in the
Dorothy
book.
drops a house on her.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew this. I don't know if you've heard about this, and maybe this is a big spoiler.
Yeah.
But the Wicked Witch of the West dies.
No.
I know.
From what?
The house falling on her.
Oh, the house does it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. You know that song, Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead? It's about her.
Oh. Huh.
I know, right?
Oh, I thought that was a My Chemical Romance song.
Anyways. Oh, you're right. Sorry. The house is east. That is her sister with the shoes on. It is the water and it is a faked death. Yeah. But anyways, all of that is correct. Let's move on from TV and movies. We got a lot of other stuff to get to.
Yeah, let's talk about some other stuff.
What do you want to talk about, Anthony? Do you want to talk about tabletop?
We mentioned the tabletop up top.
Okay.
We mentioned the table up top.
Let's start with just a piece of, we got back-to-back exciting Saige news then.
Oh, so we're not going to, okay, we are. Okay, great. Yeah, we are, yes.
Yeah.
And then we're going to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I figured that one's going to be a bigger story.
Yeah.
Let's just announce this really quick.
Let's announce it. She came down in a bubble, Doug.
A Neopets tabletop role-playing game is in the works. And I tweeted about this saying, I'm so excited. I need it so bad that my bones could explode. Because damn, this really is the intersection of my niche hobbies that I never thought we would get. I am so unbelievably excited about this idea, knowing nothing so far about where it is heading. I'm so fucking excited about it. So it isn't real yet, technically, because it is going to go to crowdfund. However, this is the same company that crowdfunded the Neopets Tarot deck.
Okay. Neopets, since the gentleman has taken it over again. I forget what his name is. Don something. The CEO who came back.
Yeah.
And is like, we're gonna raise Neopets from the dead.
Yeah.
Has made some interesting creative decisions.
Yeah. I'm very curious about this. We don't have any information about what the system is exactly going to be like yet. They say that it's going to be like fun and goofy, and that it's coming to Kickstarter on May 31st. So the company behind this, which is Geekify, has not previously made a tabletop role-playing game. Okay. So I'm very curious to see how this is mechanically. I hope they are obviously bringing in, and I assume that they are bringing in tabletop writers and mechanic developers.
You would hope so.
Yeah.
You would hope so.
You would hope so. The Neopets Tarot deck was really cool. So it's like, hey, if they're handling the Neopets IP of it all and they have people developing on it, I assume that some of that information will be more available once the Kickstarter goes live.
This seems like one of those ones, we always talk about this with Kickstarters. This is one of those ones, watch.
Yeah.
Watch and see.
Yeah.
Watch and see, and remember that you're not pre-ordering anything on a Kickstarter. Some of these things fail. Yeah. Some of these things are unproven.
What I will say is they are not proven to make a good game system. However, Geekify has run many successful Kickstarters that did deliver. So that's the thing of like, I'm not really worried about them delivering a product. I'm more like, is it going to be a good role-playing game? Is it going to be a good RPG? We don't know, but I'll buy it.
I mean,
I'll buy it no matter what.
Here's the thing. I think this is a slam dunk no matter what, because if it's just a book full of cool new Neopets art and lore for their source book, you're good.
Yeah. They need a system.
Yeah, but
unless they're doing a system agnostic book.
No. But what I'm saying is the system almost doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, as long as it's a book of cool Neopets art and lore, you are going to have most people buying it and being like, hey, if the game is also good, that's a bonus and we'll play the game. Depending on the price point, you will have people buying it just because Neopet stuff, Neopets art book.
I will buy it for that reason, but I will be upset if the system is bad.
Sure.
I would be upset if the system is bad. We see a lot of licensed systems not being great, but I hope that it's good. Or a system agnostic book would also be great. I don't think it is going to be that from what we can see so far. It looks like it is a game in itself. So I'm very, very curious to see.
I think just because Neopets has such a mixed audience of young adults and still children, I think it's mostly older, but they want to be a child and family brand.
Right.
You want to include rules.
Yes.
You don't want to be a system agnostic book where like kids get the book and then it's like, there's no way to play yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Apply your own way to play.
Yeah.
No.
So Geekify primarily makes physical items and they have like a very big range of it, which is very strange. So if you go to their website, it's device covers, gaming as a whole category, art decals, pins and patches, jewelry, science, books, fantasy. Hold on, I'm actually going to show you. Anthony's gone anyways. Fuck it. Here we go. Never mind. I don't have my close normally on here. Anyways, this is a strange combination of things, right? Oh my God, Chafrikas, that's brilliant. Having wheels would be phenomenal. So as you can see, most of their recent products are on Neopets. So it's like officially licensed products. A blanket, the Soup Fairy blanket is so funny. That is so not a good blanket design, and I think that's objectively hilarious. The Neopets tarot deck, people loved. It is expensive. The last unicorn tarot deck, people also loved, so that's a good sign. I do want to see what science is. I'm well curious. All right. Hand-grown bismuth crystals, unique lab-grown Now, okay. Okay. Fascinating. I don't know what this company is. I don't understand what this company is, if I'm honest. I don't understand that. I really, really don't get it. It's very interesting. There is a whole section on their website. And if you look at people's websites, I feel like it's important to get an idea of like their priorities by like what's up at the top. So you've got shop, services. They do all of these services, 3D printing, laser cutting, vinyl cutting, cosplay work. They do so much. And then they also have the idea box where you can just submit ideas to them. Literally reading this,
Hashtag
it says,
not sponsored.
No, this isn't cool. This is actually being
this
concerning.
Is bad?
Yeah. It definitely not sponsored.
Oh, good.
I'm not talking shit. I'm excited about this, but I'm curious. Our company thrives on ideas. We love taking on new projects and looking for awesome new gee-whiz ideas to experiment with and mess around with. If you have an idea for something you'd like to see made, a suggestion for a product, or just something cool you've heard about that you wanted to share with someone, feel free to drop us a line. Now, I'm guessing this is just to get people on their email list.
Yeah.
Because email lists are very valuable for companies like this. But I'm so curious why they do like services like this. I don't know. There's just a lot going on.
They don't seem very focused as a company.
No. So again, they have the ability to shop. Anthony, when you click on science, the section of science, they sell hand-grown bismuth crystals, lab-grown bismuth.
They're in the bismuth?
But only slightly, because they've also got...
So they're doing a little bit, they're doing a bit of bismuth.
Yeah, they're putting on their bismuth hat. So yeah, they've got like a bunch of like ancillary gaming products, like portal wall posters. A lot of this does not appear to be licensed, but all of the Neopet stuff is licensed. So isn't that interesting? Magic the Gathering inspired Cape and Cloak, right? It's like, I'm confused. I'm confused by this company, but people did love the tarot decks. They did the last Unicorn tarot deck and the Neopets tarot deck that people both really liked. Well, so I don't know.
I guess we'll see. Keep an eye on this one.
Yeah, that was an announcement. And then we got a bit of huge D&D news.
Just a bit of huge news.
A bit of huge D&D news.
Just a tiny bit of huge.
I mean, it's not a lot of news.
No.
But it is a big reveal of that PHB cover.
Yeah. First of all. It's fucking gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's fucking gorgeous. They showed off both the collectible limited edition cover and the mass market cover.
Yeah.
And I love them both.
I'm only seeing the alternate. I'm trying to find the main one.
I think
it's not linked in here.
Let me find. I'll put a link in. Show them that creative.
So here's the alt art cover. I'm so. It's so beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
It's beautiful. Like, wow. I love Lee Green Griffin. There was never AI art in these.
There was
That is misinformation. And anytime somebody shows art, if the first thing you ask about is AI, it's so disrespectful to artists. We know the artist that works on this. They posted about it personally. They got to share their work on this.
Yeah.
And it is not a helpful policing of artists to be like, is it AI? Every time somebody posts their art.
Listen, we've said it before on the show
we say
a bunch
it all
of times.
The time.
As equally bad,
yes.
Not equally bad,
no.
but almost as bad as the proliferation of AI art is the amount of just everybody looking at bad art or art of a certain style.
Art they don't like, something they disagree with.
And just looking at it and going, AI.
Yes.
You gotta be like very careful.
Yes.
You gotta be like very careful about that. The other thing is, even if a company shows off, like shows something like an advertisement or a website or something where there's a background or a single graphic that's AI art. The other thing is a lot of companies get their art from stock image sites and services.
Or from just hiring an external artist that does what the artist does.
And then receive the art and maybe don't know that it's AI.
So the last controversy that a lot of people associate this with of AI art was an artist that was doing work for a book that had to then come out and show his process and be like, I'm sorry you just didn't like the way I drew that hand, but I drew that hand.
Yeah.
And that is really embarrassing for an artist to have to do, and they shouldn't have to do it.
Yeah.
So there has never been, to anyone's knowledge, AI art in a Dungeons and Dragons book. There was an advertisement that is suspected to have used some sort of AI art background that D&D has come out and said, hey, we do not support AI art. They have said repeatedly that they do not support and intend to support AI art, and there will not be AI art to their knowledge in these things. And if any of their artists are using AI art in their process, they are requesting they don't.
Yeah.
Right?
This is one of those things where I think because of the timing of the proliferation of AI art and the timing of the sort of assertion of the Hasbro brand, people are looking. We're so used to being creative watchdogs and corporate watchdogs that we're like, oh no, Hasbro has come in to Wizards and they're making Wizards use this AI art and everything is becoming lower quality.
Wizards has been Hasbro for like a long time. That's not new. 2, monitor the company, not the artists.
Yes.
Right? So it's like, if we are going to be like, hey, I don't trust this big mega corporation, vibe with you, in, love it. Let's monitor corporate CEO salaries. Let's monitor things like that. I love that shit. Let's talk about, what a company is doing.
Yes.
But these artists are human people that are making this art that love this shit.
Also, Chafrikas brings up something really interesting in the live studio audience, which is, nobody can draw hands, dog.
And it wasn't just a hand.
Nobody can draw hands, dog.
There was like a thing that people were zooming in on this like dwarf that was drawn that was like, look, this part of this doesn't make any sense. And the artist just had to be like, sorry, I guess.
It's a fucking dwarf, my guys.
Yeah.
It's a fantasy creature.
But let's show this beautiful art cover because I'm genuinely really excited about it. I think this is absolutely stunning.
I love this cover.
All of the D&D books come out with a, like Anthony said, mass market main cover and then an art cover. The art cover is usually more expensive and harder to get. God, they're so pretty. I love all of the art covers. Yes. I love the way those books feel. They're texturally different. I'm a big fan of them. I have a bunch of them on my shelf. And then it has the Dungeons & Dragons 50th anniversary logo on the back.
Mm-hmm. And then it's got the barcode for your taxes.
Yeah, exactly. I love even the look of the spine on it. I love all this detail. This is,
And based on we don't know what the printing process on these is going to be, but based on the old ones, sometimes they'll have foil or they'll have embossing.
Yeah.
So I'm very interested to see the actual print process on it.
I'm so excited. But let's show the original, not the original, but the main one too.
So this is the mass market cover that was created by Tyler Jacobson, who is a friend of the show and a great artist.
Yeah.
Just an amazing artist. I love this cover. This cover was getting some backlash. I wouldn't call it backlash really, but a bunch of people were just like boring, terrible, bad art.
It's
because they're like, oh, I've seen something like this before. Yeah, dude.
It's the player's handbook.
It's a take on the original player's handbook.
This is a summary of Dungeons and Dragons, and people are calling it generic. I disagree with that. I think Tyler did a great job. I think it looks fantastic.
Yeah, I think Tyler's...
It's not similar to the last PHB. This is the previous PHB. Hold on. I can go to my camera and I can show it to you. Oh, no, I can press the right buttons even without Alex here. This is the previous PHB. I should put it here for focal length because we don't autofocus. It's great. It's beautiful. This one's great and beautiful too.
Yeah.
I really do agree that it's like...
It's a take on the prototypical on some of the original players' handbooks. It looks very taken from 3rd edition, which is what a lot of people, when they get soft and nostalgic, they're usually thinking about 3rd edition.
Yeah.
But he takes a completely new composition with it. It's got this really wide camera. It's from a completely different angle. I think it's good.
I love
Everybody who's dunking on Tyler or trying to dunk on Tyler can just walk into the sea.
I think it's really cool. People were asking, is this the same rule set? So no, this is the updated rule set. We're going to have actually a little bit more coverage of this because we have been blessed. We might have a little bit of early information for you guys soon, but it's not today.
We can say that one of the new rules is no bummers.
No bummers.
Just no fucking bummers, dude.
Yeah. It's really cool. I'm super excited about it. I got to go to their summit last year. And things like, showing you guys the rules early and stuff like that and getting to talk about it, going to the creator summit. Those were not things that I was paid to do, just for context. Just so we know. It's not sponsored content. It's just hey, you guys and talk about D&D. That's a really cool thing to do. When we do sponsored content, we're very transparent about it.
And she had to go to the summit of a peak and fight a wizard.
Yeah.
Because it's Dungeons and Dragons.
Exactly.
Just to find out about the new rules.
Yeah. So with that, this is the rules update. It's not an entirely new edition. All of your books are still going to be compatible with it, but there are updates to the Player's Handbook, the Dungeon Master's Guide, and then we also saw some art for Tasha's, I believe. I think that was in here.
So this is part of the new initiative that's coming down the line where it's going to be D&D is going to be more of a living rule set. So all of your source books will remain compatible with new rules down the line.
Yeah.
And they're not going to go by by so many of these straight edition numbers.
Yeah. So it isn't a new cover for Tasha's. What it is here is just that the artist who did the alt cover for the new PHB also did the alt cover that was beautiful for Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, which
another great cover.
A fave alt cover of mine as well. Really, really cool.
Yeah, gorgeous.
So yeah, that's it. Of the Barbarian said, I hate that they're moving away from editions so much. I disagree with that personally as somebody who plays and has been playing for quite some time and plays quite often. They've released so many books throughout 5th edition. I think they're in a kind of no-win situation with their people where some people want editions, but other people who have invested hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars, up to thousands of dollars in these books that they've been releasing would be pretty fucking upset if next year their books were no longer compatible with that, which would be the case for a new edition.
I think it's one of those things where there would have been a vocal part of the community that would have disliked it either way.
Yeah.
There are some people that are like, well, I want to know that I'm playing with up-to-date rules that are codified and they're complete and they're set.
Yes.
But then, like you're saying, well, if I'm going out and I'm buying all of these source books, And then 3 years later, 4 years later, there's a whole new set of source books and I've got to just toss these.
Yeah.
So I like the idea of living rules, and I like the idea of organic sort of evolving rules. And as long as everybody on the table is at the table is on the same page, you're always going to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is going to make things so much nicer because it's tough. It's tough, like you're saying, to buy 10, 15 of these books or whatever.
Yeah.
And then be told like, well, it's a new edition.
Yeah.
Some of this stuff works, but not really.
But most of it doesn't. Yeah. In a new edition in that case. Everybody, no, you're not going to get an automatic update. D&D Beyond will get some stuff like it does, but that'll be more of the like public facing that have always been free to use. It is a new edition of the player's handbook. It is not a new edition of the game. It is not being really referred to anymore by D&D as 1D&D. It is generally just the rules update. You do not have to purchase these to continue playing in your games. Or people in there, they're like, so I just don't have to buy it? Sure, you don't have to buy it. Nobody can make you buy it.
Yeah.
Why? Absolutely not. There are some cool things in it. Last I saw of the rules update, there were some things that I'm excited to play with. But in the same way that a lot of people play D&D, where they navigate it and like, oh, someone in the group has this book, so we navigate it because they share their campaign with us on D&D Beyond because we all play together. Those are all of the things that you can do. I think there are definitely updates that needed to be made to the Player's Handbook and the Dungeon Master's Guide. There are things that can be done when you do things like that are updating things to a more modern approach for it. Updating things that maybe have been realized to be a little bit insensitive in previous books that they can update and take out of it.
Some of the, like, obviously they've been dealing with this for years where where all of the fantasy lore that comes from the sort of Tolkien guideline is based on some culturally outdated stuff that needs to be worked with and needs to be made better. And they've been doing a good job of that. And I like the idea of, that's another great thing about this being a constantly updating thing.
Yeah.
Is you can make those small changes whenever you want to.
Yeah.
Without worrying about, oh no, like, do people have to get a whole new set of rules now just to go along with some of this?
Yeah, people are still seemingly confused. Like, well, but you have to buy an update, right? Again, you can do whatever you want. If you want the access to the new rules, which are updates to a couple of classes, updates to backgrounds and things like that we've seen, then you have to get a new player's handbook. But you do not have to change anything about your existing additional books. There are so many D&D books. I have 2 full shelves of them behind this wall. I can still go in and play in Eberron and Ravenloft, and I can go to the Feywilds and enjoy the carnival. Yeah. And if I want to play something like the updated sorcerer class that adjusts the way that they interact with their spellcasting modifier, then I would get the new PHB, right?
And the system, like, they're building their stuff, like D&D Beyond and all that. They're building it to be flexible with this stuff. Yeah. It's up to you personally how flexible you want to be with this stuff at the table, as always. Like, it all comes down to what you want to do at the table.
100%.
So, like, I see, like, a lot of the confusion that people are, or a lot of the concern that I think people are voicing with this. And I think this is something that Wizards will probably talk more and more about as more of this new stuff comes out, is like, well, how much talking do I have to do at the table? If I'm a DM, am I missing like tables and charts that I need? If I'm a player, how do I know that I'm on the same page as everybody else? Like, how do we decide as a table which like ratified version of these rules we want to use? And it all comes down to like you and your friends who are playing. What do you want to do? It's
totally up to you. And some of them, like I said, there is like a base thing that when you just sign up for D&D Beyond is available to you. That is like the equivalent of like almost the public domain of, Dungeons and Dragons. Those will be updated. So yes, without you having to buy that. So there are some things that auto update and become available to you. Some things that will be in the books, and it depends on the medium that you play in. I think that at the end of the day, the best thing I could say is, don't panic either way. Yeah. If you want a new book, I want a new book, right? I
just like to buy book.
I want a new book. Yeah. That's good for me. You don't want new book? Still good for you. Either way, it's not a big deal, if that makes sense. I think a new PHB is a big deal in, the D&D world. And I think that that's really cool. I'm excited to see what they have for the new DMG as well. I'm excited to see the art for it and the reveal for it. I'm excited about the changes that I have seen, and I haven't seen all of them yet. And I saw a previous like version of them. And all the stuff from that summit was public. At the time, they were streaming out that information. We were told that we could talk about it. But like the stuff that I saw, I was very excited about. And a lot of it is like things we've been doing anyways, things that people have been complaining about, just getting a chance to be updated, because it has been, how long has it been?
83 years.
What year? What was it? 2013 for the PHB?
Yeah, it's something like that. It's over 10 years for sure.
Over 10 years?
You know, I will say though that there is one change that's pretty big, and there's no more elves.
No more elves.
And you're just gonna have to deal with there are no more elves. And they said they're not bringing them back, and they are going to pull them out of every book you already own. So get wrecked, elves.
Yeah, you're gonna open it up, and that page is just gonna be empty.
Yeah.
Because that's wizard magic.
You get it? Yeah. Sorry, elves.
Anyways, I'm excited about this art. I think that it's great. I think that it's neat. And I think that's all of the time that we have for today's show, because it's already 10:30, Anthony.
That's right. Thank you so much for being here with us, BBs. We super duper appreciate you. You are all wonderful and unique snowflakes.
It's very true.
We believe in you very much.
Yeah. And I have something that we didn't get to talk about today, which is Chuck E. Cheese animatronics. And I would love to talk to you about it on the Patreon today, Anthony. It's Friday. So go to patreon.com/Pixel Circus if you want to see the bonus story that we didn't get to. Because it's a pretty good time.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good time over there.
We do a bonus clip every single week, mostly.
Yeah.
And
you can get a free trial. You can check it out for free. You can check it out for $5 otherwise, or get a discount for doing it for a year.
That's right. If you enjoyed the show today and you are watching on YouTube, do give a like and subscribe if you would. Smash bells, fam.
Yeah. And leave a comment on your thoughts on any of the stuff that we talked about today, especially if you can win Supermarket Sweep. I wanted to shout out Cyrano Johnson, who answered our LinkedIn question. We were asking what we thought that people thought that job posting was for.
Oh, I thought maybe it was, he answered my LinkedIn question of, will someone please give me a job?
They did not, no.
Okay.
This answer was, that weird LinkedIn job post is amazing. I think maybe it's alluding to a guy running a bare bones supply business for private clinics in the healthcare sector who want to know his assistants have his back in doing illegal shit. The more illegal, the better. I feel like that was a really good answer.
Oh, back alley doctor pulling bullets out of people and stuff.
I think that's what it was.
The night nurse, Rosario Dawson in Daredevil, right?
Exactly. Scarlet Kitty Eyes said, live-in wife maid. That's it, just an adult caretaker. Also accurate. Yep. And Tiny Coke said, I'm obsessed with the mustaches, the bangs of Mask. It does seem like the same intrusive thought of, I wonder, and it never turns out well.
Yeah, mustaches for masculine people are the same as bangs for feminine people. We have decided this.
Yeah. So thank you, everybody.
And in comes Xander with a mustache.
Hi. Yeah.
Oh, really? Lots of opinions
So, hey, it's okay. I got the bangs, so.
1-2 combo. Bam, bam.
You remember that old song, if you got the bangs, I got the stash?
They got rid of elves.
Yeah, got rid of elves,
totally
dude. Did you
gone.
hear?
Yeah, all the elves are gone. We opened up our book and it was just gone. All right, everybody. We're going to go through and we're going to thank everybody who supported us here on Twitch during the show. Right now, there's a bunch of ways that you can do that. You can tip. It's cool. It makes this bar back here go up and we appreciate it. You can subscribe and get access to emotes and things.
It also lets us hire a bar back. We don't need one.
Yeah.
You always think you don't need one, but then the shift is more busy than you think.
Exactly. Hey, you all might have seen me announce something super cool and exciting coming up Saturday, the 25th. Thank you, Xander. We are doing an all-day marathon stream here. It is going to be a subathon, but it's not just subs. That's going to be
Doms are welcome too.
Hey, tops and bottoms all around. It's going to be Patreon. It's going to be bits. It's going to be subs. It's going to be tips. Any way that you want to support the channel. It's a cool fundraiser for us to make a bunch of things. We'll tell you during that about all the cool things that we can make if we hit certain goals.
If you got half a sandwich left over, mail it to us now so we have it by the time we do the marathon.
Anthony, where can they find you on the internet?
You can find me everywhere at A Carboni, except for here on Twitch where I'm at Anthony. Whoa! That did not happen. You can find me everywhere on Twitch at A Carboni, or everywhere on the internet as at A Carboni.
We miss Alex.
Except for on Twitch where I'm at Anthony Carboni. And this week's We Have Concerns is about how 10,000 people and horses died in the Battle of Waterloo, and they only ever found 2 corpses, and we now know why.
Uh-oh.
Check that out. We have concerns.
I should have made these buttons clearer.
Yeah.
You can find me everywhere on the internet at Not Saige. I stream on my channel Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. That's it, everybody.
That's a button.
There we go. We love you all so much. Thank you for spending your morning with us. And we will see you on the Patreon.
Bye, BBs.
Bye.